Welcome to Hoggin's Quick and Flashy. Today we'll focus on setting up your workspace in Flash to help you get the best out of it and the hotkeys that you should remember. Quick disclaimer, the version of Flash that I use is Flash 8. Your copy of Flash will most likely differ in terms of aesthetic and where stuff is located, but will function just the same. When you start Flash for the first time, your layout will look like this. You'll have stage in the center, your tools to the left, your timeline where all your frames lie on the top, properties such as frame rate and stage size on the bottom underneath this arrow, and a color and library window to the right. Each of these toolbars can be moved around to suit you by clicking and dragging these dots. The window can also be customized by adding panels that perform different actions. The panels I recommend you enable are Color Mixer, Scene, and Library. You can stick them all in the side window and open and close them at will. You can have your timeline on the top or the bottom depending on your preference. Now for some basics. The timeline is where all your frames of animation lie. When you draw in the main window, the frame in the timeline gains a black spot to show that there's something in it. If there isn't anything in the frame, it returns to white. To add a new blank frame, press the F7 key. To add a new duplicated frame, press the F6 key. To extend the time length of your frame, press the F5 key. If you are using a laptop keyboard where the F number keys perform actions such as brightness adjustment or volume control, you may or may not have to hold down the function key and press the respective button. Just check for yourself first. Frames can also be selected and dragged different areas of your timeline to suit your needs. Layers are different levels of depth to your animation. You will use these a lot. Like any art or animation program, the top layers appear over your back layers and you can lock or hide them so you don't accidentally alter them. These are your onion skinning buttons. These show the previous and next frames from your animation from your current location. This button views your frames as slightly faded, whereas this button views your frames as outlines depending on the color of the layers. You can adjust how many frames you see by adjusting these brackets at the top. You can also anchor your onion skin to only see frames in a specific highlighted area. To play your animation in its raw state, press the Enter key. To watch your animation fully rendered, press the Control and Enter keys at the same time. Your properties include the size of your stage, the frame rate of your animation, and your publishing settings. You can adjust your frame rate and stage size to your own preference. However, I'd strongly recommend the frame rates of 24, 25, or 30 for standard animation, or 60 for super smooth animation, and a stage size of 1280 by 720 or 1920 by 1080. I'll cover publishing in a later episode. And on one final note, make sure that you save regularly, as Flash has a tendency to crash at times and you don't want to lose your work. So either keep saving from every 1 to 10 minutes or install an autosave extension to the program.